This week, we will be discussing the Utah Jazz releasing an NFT project, as well as Steph Curry joining the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and how an NFT collector was tricked into buying a fake Banksy NFT. Also, did the Doge meme NFT just become a cryptocurrency? This and more. Stay tuned, and welcome to NFTs with Keys. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for all that NFT news you need. Just a little PSA for everyone in the audience. Collectors, don't stress about not getting into these projects. A lot of these collectors, they're playing with house money. They've been in crypto for a while. They got tons of it, or they're artists and they blew up. So don't worry. Get into what you can. Get into what you like. To be honest, 90% of these NFTs are going to be worthless, so only buy what you like. The more you do what you love to collect, the more money you're going to make out of it. Also, artists, don't worry if you're not getting a sale or your stuff's not selling right now. Just keep doing you. And you know, what's the saying? If you build it, they will come. So just keep building your brand and your stuff and you'll be great. And I have to introduce my buddy, Nick.
How's it going, guys?
And me and him were talking about how the color purple isn't a color.
Yeah, you know, it turns out the color purple is not really a color. It's a trick on the human eye. You know, there really is no purple wavelength. There's a magenta, there's an indigo, there's a violet, but there's no purple. Purple is complete play on your optics.
Yeah, I never knew that, and I think that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Well, not ever heard, but that's one of the weirdest things I've heard all week. Because purple is one of my favorite colors, man. And it's not a color.
You know?
You know what I mean?
It's just not even real. A color. You can see it, you can touch it, but yeah, when you're talking about technically speaking, it's not a color.
Yeah. But yeah, so to jump in, I mean, I guess to segue, purple, the Utah Jazz have purple on their jerseys. Terrible segue. Terrible segue. But anyways, the Utah Jazz are jumping into the NFT space with a virtual locker room.
You know, I heard about that, and that's kind of cool to me because I think it splices in every way that you can kind of use the metaverse.
Yeah, I think this is a way that clearly at the ground floor of the metaverse, like to really open it up into making the metaverse more mainstream. So the Jazz owner Ryan Smith announced that they were going to release this NFT as well as future projects. So I think that's important to know that the NBA is actually being on the precipice of, you know, capitalizing on NFTs. Little side note, the NFL actually released banning teams from doing NFTs.
Really?
I think the NFL wants to kind of consolidate that into an NFL thing. Individual players can still do stuff, but they can't have certain brand deals, I guess. So it's like Tom Brady's autograph. That's his company, not a brand deal.
Okay.
So that's a little sidestepping. I just thought that was really interesting, and I kind of wanted to...
That actually is really interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was weird that they would do that, but I think it's more so that they can consolidate everything, and the NFL can make sure that they, as a corporation of all, you know, the teams can make the money and not the individuals. But what's interesting is how I mentioned Bryce Young last week. If he enters the NFL, he'll have to stop.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so he'd have to stop unless, you know, by the time he gets into the NFL, they fix that. But going back to the Jazz, so part of this NFT project, the first tier, you'll get an opportunity to take a virtual tour of the locker room, of the actual Jazz locker room. And at the end of it, you'll get a 30-minute Q&A with the owner, Ryan Smith. And what's really cool about this is they'll send you an Oculus Rift.
That's really, actually, to me, I think that's super cool.
Yeah.
Give you that kind of augmented reality experience, that real actually there without having to be there.
Yeah, and then so when you do this Q&A with the owner, like you're going to be physically, well, not physically, but I guess in the metaverse physically, face-to-face with him and talking to him.
In the same three-dimensional space.
Yeah. And then the tier 2 is the same thing. You just don't get an Oculus, so it's clearly cheaper. And then it's being done by artist Krista Kim and virtual reality artist Michael Potts. They're the one really putting it together for the Jazz. And something I thought was interesting, Krista Kim said that the metaverse will be an extension of community engagement for all sports teams, brands, and organizations. I think she's right, but it's really weird to see it happening so quickly.
You know, they kind of have to do this. It's just a natural progression when you're talking about communication. Right now, especially in the sports world, you have the ability to watch this on television, and they're trying to get you as close to the action as possible. But, you know, we've gotten as close as we can now when you're in the same three-dimensional space as these teams. You're there.
And what's interesting, too, is it just dawned on me. the NBA has been on way ahead of everybody about the metaverse. You can stream live games via virtual reality where you're courtside.
I've seen wares where you can choose which camera angle you're actually
no.
looking at the game.
Literally, if next time if you're ever watching a basketball game, watch down on the court. You'll see a camera that's filming in a spot, and you can sit there, put on an Oculus Rift, sit down, and you're courtside.
Yeah, well,
they've been doing that for years. I totally forgot about it.
It's what I was saying on one of my previous shows. The metaverse is real, and it's been here longer than you and I have been alive. It's just been called many different things, and it's taken many different forms. But with coming into this new digital age with cryptocurrencies and with augmented realities and virtual realities, this is just the next logical step.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So moving on. So keeping it with the NBA, Steph Curry, 3-time NBA champion, star of the Warriors. He bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT this past week for 55 ETH, or about $180,000. And he did it, honestly, at the perfect time because of the future drop that they were going to do that same weekend. But my thing is, the NBA started joining the exclusive club. I don't know if it's necessarily a good thing per se, because it already has so much publicity to it. That all it did really is just jack up the cost of the Bored Apes, especially before the new launch of their Mutant Ape Yacht Club stuff. And I think that's an issue. It's kind of like what happened when Visa bought the CryptoPunk. Instantly after Visa did that, within an hour after the purchase, like 50 different CryptoPunks were purchased.
Right.
Or maybe it was 20, maybe I'm over exaggerating, but still, they were instantly purchased, and it made it more scarce to get it, and the cost went up even higher. So, I think, a big star like that bringing it to the limelight is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it helps solidify and, make the NFT space even more legitimate when you have someone that, people look up to. People look up to Steph Curry, not only as a basketball player, but as a person. He's a great dad. He's a great husband from everything I've read and heard. So it's just like, when you hear someone like that making an investment move into NFT space and also into the art space of NFTs, I think that's really cool. But then I also think it's bad for, someone who's like me, who doesn't have, $180,000 to join this, but I would love to be in Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Honestly, Bored Ape, if you're watching, if you wanted to donate one to the channel,
just to all of us.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to dissect this thing, let people know how psyched we are to be a part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Let's be honest, bro. They don't need our help.
Oh, we're not asking for help. Just a mere chance at the exclusivity that's provided of being a part of this Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know if anybody out there wants to discuss this, if it's a good thing or bad thing, hit it in the comments.
Yeah, please.
The other thing, too, keeping on the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Sotheby's auction house set a record sale of $2.25 million for a Bored Ape.
Yep.
And this ape in question was the pure gold, the rarest of the rare, golden fur. And I find it amazing that someone bought this for $2.25 million. And that's not even the end of their auction.
Yeah, I know. It's the one.
Yeah, that's just the one. They still have another two auctions going, where the first one is of 101 apes of different types, different like kinds, and all this stuff. And it also comes with 4 vials of the mutant serum. So when you can turn them into the mutant apes, and we'll get to that in just a second. But the current bid as of earlier, when I was doing prep for the show, the current bid on the 101 apes is at $4.8 million.
Is that in total combined for all the NFTs, or are they?
From my understanding, it's a lot of 101. So in the auction world, like, you can have a lot of one thing or a lot of 120 things, but it's like, that's the lot. So this lot, if it ended right now, it'd be $4.8 million for 101 Bored Apes.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Wow.
What? And then what's even crazier is the Bored Apes also have the Kennel Club Yacht Club, which is basically, Shiba Inus that are the same kind of style of the different Bored Apes. And that one has 101 in its collection. And that one is going for about $550,000 as of this morning when I was doing some prep.
And that's just on the initial sale. I'm not even going to try to speculate or even imagine what the third-party market looks like for resale.
Whoever wins that 4.8 million, let's say even gets to 5 or even 10 million, they have 101 Bored Apes that they can sell now for 20 ETH each.
Oh, so they're buying the whole lot then?
The whole lot.
Oh, wow.
So now that investment of $4 million, if it's like parting out a car. You can sell the car or junk the car for $200, but if you have the time and the effort and you want to put in the time and all that, if you got a good transmission, that's $2,000.
That's a fair point.
You know?
I never really thought about it like that before, but that's a really, really
So
good
it's
point.
like if this person, sure, they spend, let's say 10 mil on it. Fine. The biggest, NFT sale besides the Beeple one, but when it comes to profile picture, NFT, it'd be the biggest, but then they'd have 101 of those and they can sell them for a minimum of 10 ETH and make more than what they spent.
See, that still blows my mind that you can come up with these numbers like 10 ETH, and that's not even something astronomical for these.
No, that's cheap.
Business as usual.
No, that's cheap.
Business as usual.
Yeah, especially some of those, because I did look at the images of which ones are in there, and there is a pure gold one. It's not the pure gold one, but it has it's pure gold, and it has it looks like a Star Trek visor or like the Cyclops visor on it. And
okay.
So, but that one will go for probably 120 ETH. That one alone.
That's insane.
Someone will buy that. But anyways, going on. So this weekend too, the Mutant Ape Yacht Club was a drop, and which is a way to mutate your Bored Ape into a grotesque or weird or trippy looking ape. And it was the only reason the drop happened. It was mostly just to get more people into this club.
Okay.
It's kind of hard, obviously, because the Bored Apes, you're talking 10, 15 ETH or even 5 ETH maybe for a bottom level. But even then, I don't think that's where it's at now. So yeah, when the Mutant Apes at launch, they were relatively affordable. Okay. When I saw them, it was about 1.2 Ethereum, which is still, $3,000 to $4,000 depending on what Ethereum was at. So that's still a lot for a profile picture, an avatar in the metaverse.
Right.
But the floor quickly rose. As of this morning, it's 4.63. And that it dropped last weekend.
And this is just for a profile picture.
Avatar metaverse thing, yes, 100%.
This is the profile picture.
Yeah, and what's crazier too is I don't know why no one is so blown away by this. The people who made it make a percentage off the secondary sales because that's in the smart contracts. So even if it's 10%, think about 10% of $4 million.
Oh, I know. I've thought about this many a time. Like I'm all for these artists making a killing out there in the digital space. Like seriously, you guys are doing it great and you're doing it right and you're setting the precipice for how this is going to be going forward. I keep telling everyone that I know, I fully believe that NFTs will be the catalyst that push whichever smart contract based blockchain to the top. It'll be where the NFT market decides to settle down into. Right now, we're in the Wild West.
Yeah.
But we'll see when it all settles down.
Yeah.
NFTs will be the reason to choose it.
But yeah, so it was kind of interesting the way the drop for the Mutant Apes. So what they did is they airdropped what they called mutant serum to all the holders of the apes. And some people didn't get them, so they added a different way to create it by exposing you. So again, you can expose your existing ape to the serum, or you could mint a mutant ape to get it that way. Okay. So that was a way for them to, really get other people. So it's like if you have yours, you can go and say, oh, I want to mint a mutant ape. A mutant ape gets mint, so you can sell it because it's a mutant ape. And I'm assuming you get to keep your Bored Ape when you're not actually minting yours. You're minting a brand new thing for someone else to buy to enter the community.
I've done zero looking into any of this, but unless they found a way to alter a smart contract or found a way to have unless they pre-planned all of this, my guess is they probably have to remint a whole new NFT and call it the Mutant Ape.
Yeah, no, well, this was all part of their roadmap. The Mutant Ape Yacht Club was all part of it.
I'm curious to see what that looks like, because when I think I want to ask about the mutant serum and how that works, but
and I'll get to that in a second. So. This drop was so highly sought after, it netted $96 million within 1 hour.
That makes total sense to me. I mean, the Mutant Ape Yacht Club, just looking at the numbers now and the hype that I'm seeing now, that makes total sense.
Yeah, and to get back to your point, so some people on Twitter that I saw, they took the serum and let's say they for some reason they didn't want to turn their Bored Ape into a mutant ape.
Okay.
I don't know if this is real or if they are just really clever artists and did it, but I saw one guy on Twitter say, hey, I didn't want to turn my Bored Ape into a mutant ape, so I gave my mutant serum to my pudgy penguin, and now look at it. and it mutated the pudgy penguin. Apparently, supposedly, allegedly.
I'm gonna call really good artists on that, but if it really
I don't
did,
know, but
cool.
I mean, think about it. Could you not do that with a line of code to change something?
You technically could.
The way they make a lot of these are through AI programs. So why couldn't you make a line of AI code to randomly generate mutations on the original form, and then you expose it by opening it up in there? Why couldn't it happen?
The thing that would stop that is the fact that they're NFTs and sitting in a separate wallet. I don't.
Well, you have to expose it to it, so you have to bring them together.
We're talking about the mixture of two smart contracts. I wouldn't need to see it. That's what I'm saying. If this legitimately works like that, then I'm super duper impressed. Super impressed.
Yeah.
And we're talking this was pre-planned out, and they've all been preparing for this. And we're talking about a smart contract that has dependencies on other things, but when dependency is met from another smart contract, it creates a whole new NFT. And that to me is weird. I don't know how you would adjust an existing NFT to be something more than what it already is, unless it already is.
Yeah.
And then that begs the question, these Bored Apes, are they even bigger than just the Mutant Apes? Have they already planned out other things beyond that?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
And they could probably already exist in all of these NFTs. It's just merely
and what's cool about that is
putting it out.
And what's cool about that is I'm mostly just waiting to see what happens. No, you're fine. But I'm really to see what happens with these other projects that utilize this, because there's some new ones that are coming out, later this month and next month, and obviously in the future. So it's interesting to see if that is actually how it worked out, and you can just give these serums or these lines of code to any of these NFTs, and they somehow changes them. This could change NFTs, and NFTs absolutely. Are still new.
Oh, it would change the game almost completely. I just off the top of my head, if I worked for Marvel and they allowed me to run their NFT department, and we decided to run the Darkest Night runway again through the Green Lantern rings, I could have NFTs of all Wonder Woman.
But isn't that DC?
I don't care. It's all the same.
I'm working at
this is the metaverse.
I'm so sorry.
Have you not seen any of these movies where they combine everything together? At one point, the metaverse is just going to be all content.
No, there was a crossover event
all
between.
Content.
Anyways, we're good.
But you see what I'm saying, zombies, or even stuff turning people into other things, like the Lantern series. Black Lantern rings.
Or even like you said, in let's say DC stuff, you can do the whole the bat that laughs stuff.
Yeah, you can do all of that, and all you can do is start with a pure NFT, pure Batman, and then you give him the Joker serum, or whatever other thing that they have, and it could evolve that. If that's something that's in the future completely doable, I'm with it. Yeah. And I know it can be when I try to expand upon it between layer 2s and layer 3s on a blockchain. I know it's completely doable. I'm just really excited to see where the NFTs end up. Because me, I think NFTs are really in their infancy, and we barely use them for what they can be used for. Oh, and when we open it up,
I 100% agree. So moving on.
Sorry,
no, you're good. We would I enjoy this. This is why I have you on the show,
right?
Because it would be boring if I just sat here and I was like, "Here's the news." I need you here.
I don't know. You're a pretty likable guy. I'd watch a show if it was just by you.
I hope people watch. Please watch. Anyways, the NFT collector spent over $300K on a fake Banksy NFT.
How?
Okay, so I did a little research on this, and the sale took place after Banksy's website directed online users to an auction of what seemed to be the street artist's first NFT. So, if you're a big fan of Banksy, I am. I like his street art,
Okay.
I'm graffiti artists, don't hate me for that, but I like his art. It's cool. I have some in my house. I would like to own something like that. So I probably would have tried to do this. I don't have $300K to do it, but it was listed on OpenSeas by Gakman, which Gakman is actually an alias for Banksy. Back in the day, that is something he would use, as Gakman. So people thought, okay, maybe this is real. And then the collector who got fleeced on the deal, his name is Pranksy. He's a self-described big Banksy fan, and he figured something was wrong when he put in the bid for $300K, 300K's worth of Ethereum, and right away it got accepted and ended the auction way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, those are huge red flags.
So he was like, whoa. And he even said, at that moment, I was 99% sure that I got scammed. And so the biggest thing that I thought was interesting was this hacker, what he did is he hacked Banksy's website, directed everybody to an OpenSeas page to sell this, first ever Banksy NFT. And then after he got the money, instantly returned the money without gas fees. So he took the gas fees out, but returned the money to Pranksy almost immediately. And people are like, oh, they think it's a good hacker just trying to prove a point. Like, what point? How do we know this wasn't Banksy hacking his own thing just to prove a point?
I mean, this would be right up Banksy's alley.
Yeah.
Like, did no one see that artwork they put up and then like immediately it was bought? It went straight into the shredder that was built into the frame.
Yeah, and no one knew.
Sounds like a Banksy thing.
It sells for millions of dollars and
then
instantly
whoop,
gets destroyed
right in front of everyone. You know what? We're keeping that in there. I'm sorry. Yeah, right in front of this is totally a Banksy thing. Like, oh no, that's not a Banksy. What screams more Banksy? The guy did a DNS. He takes the DNS and he reroutes you over to a different area. Into the open seas, right? You make the purchase and it immediately disappears. So he's just sitting there waiting for some fool to do it, unless he takes you to a fake website and you put in all the stuff and it actuates immediately. And then, we'll send you back your money. But we're keeping the gas fees. I mean, I want something from my work too, but that sounds right up Banksy's alley.
Yeah,
totally. That's a Banksy move.
It totally does. And when was the last time Banksy's name's been in the media recently? It's probably been a couple of years. So I don't put it past Banksy pulling this, or at least Banksy's team pulling this.
Like, I'm sure if someone had the smarts back when this happened, if they were to right click and view page source when they got there before they put 300K in, there's probably some joke on the page or like something showing, it could have straight up been Banksy. And we missed that opportunity too because we weren't smart enough to do it.
And Banksy's known for doing crazy stuff. I remember watching a video of him setting up a bunch of his like little canvases in New York over by Central Park and was selling them for $20. Mind you, those things go for millions.
I think I saw that same thing too.
Yeah, so it's like he does weird and crazy stuff. Just like having an art show and he was actually there and no one knew he was there because no one knows who he is. So yeah. But and something I'm gonna bring up that I think you're gonna get really excited for is, and it's gonna be weird to you, but Tez. On the Tez and the objects and HEN, they released a PFP NFT project, the first ever to be released on Tezos. So this is why I say it, because you love Cardano, and this will prove something, especially if it does well. Well, these things called Tezos, a PFP NFT project that dropped over the weekend, is the first one for Tezos, like I said, and it did actually really well. It sold out almost immediately. I know a bunch of people couldn't find any, and on the secondary market at Object, the cheapest one I saw was around $290 this morning, which is about $1,500.
Wow. So like almost half an ETH.
Yeah.
Near
half. And that was the cheapest one being sold. So, just like how I was telling you, like, I don't know if Cardano is going to push out, the Ethereum network when it comes to, NFTs. Mm-hmm. This isn't pushing Ethereum out, but it's good sign for Cardano NFTs to get some traction and actually be worth something, because people are buying these things for 290 Tez, and Tez is at like 540 something, or you know what I mean. So it's like, it's a good sign for 88 fans and all that stuff. You don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. I personally don't like Tezards the way they look. They're like weird humanoid lizard things that look like you drew them. No offense.
That's fine. I get it now. I totally get it. I'm not artsy at all. Give me ones and zeros, raw data any day of the week.
Yeah. I don't know. It wasn't something big for me, but I felt like highlighting a project that, might be a kind of like, if you will, a proof of work.
I liken it to we're old enough to remember HD DVD and Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. NFTs, like other markets in our day, will end up being what really dictates which one of these blockchains are going to be the supreme use blockchain for all smart contract based everything. I really believe it's going to be the NFT market and another market that I don't really want to talk about on stream that are going to dictate all of that.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, and it's cool to see Tezos actually seeing NFTs move on a separate blockchain.
Yeah.
I just personally don't like Tezos, and that is why I hate Tezos.
I'm glad we clipped that out.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to.
I personally don't want to be talking bad on anything, bad juju. So I'm glad we clipped that. The real reason is a homeless person started banging on our office. So
we're not made of money here. We take where we can film.
But anyways, to move on with the show, the Doge meme NFT is kind of like a cryptocurrency. And what I mean by that is Pleasure DAO or Pleaser DAO, the company that bought the NFT, is selling fractional ownership of the NFT.
So the only way I can imagine that happening is if they've taken this NFT and they've created some kind of like LP token from it, like a liquidity pool token.
Well, basically what they did is, I mean, you might be right, but what they did is they took the NFT and put it through a platform called fractional.art, and it broke it down into billions of ERC20 tokens called Doge.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So they turned it into a liquidity pool token, and then what they're doing with that is they have to be putting something behind it, probably some kind of stable coin, or people also putting some kind of liquidity behind it, most likely a stable
Well,
coin.
the liquidity would be the worth of the meme that they paid for.
That's hilarious.
And so now you can go buy on fractional.art or on the DEX MISO. You can buy Doge and own a part of the NFT. So it's kind of like when we were discussing this last night, it's kind of like Million Token. Someone put up the money, and let's hope it does better than Million Token. And I just said I wouldn't talk bad about a cryptocurrency.
Hey, man, you know, this is the Wild West out there. Seriously, if you play your cards right, you can become a million. Even the Million Token made a millionaire out of it. The guy put in, albeit he had to start off with 100K, put 100K in that same day, became a millionaire. So like it's really, you could even become a millionaire off of Doge. Buy in at, let's say, 10 cents in the morning, and it hits 33 cents in the day.
Well, Doge hasn't been 10 cents in like over a month.
I know, I'm being optimistic here.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting the fact that imagine if Beeple's 8,000 days, that the owner of that puts it through fractional.art.
And has 8,000 individual people.
Well, think about it. Let's say that you make only 8,000 tokens. So each token is one of the individual pictures.
That'd be cool.
And it'd be backed by $64 million worth.
Still be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I think it's interesting. And I think it's clearly, like we've always say, it's the Wild West.
It's the Wild West.
And in crypto and NFTs. I never thought that we'd be talking about the day that an NFT essentially becomes a cryptocurrency.
Well, see, the fun thing about NFTs is they provide a means of digital scarcity and real digital ownership that can't be taken away because you own it, which is the craziest thing. We're moving so far away as a society from real ownership that decentralized finance and cryptocurrencies are all about real ownership. It's weird.
Well, I mean, and think about it, to go off of that point. I mean, look at what's happening in the housing market in America. Like a lot of these, Blackstone or a lot of these major companies are buying a bunch of housing and making it so you can rent it. No one can own these housing not projects is not like that, but these apartments and other stuff in these places are making it so you don't have ownership. Meanwhile, the technology space and the crypto space and the NFT space is like, no, we want to create ownership for everybody. Everything needs to be owned by a person or something.
That's right.
And it's weird that we're on these two, it's like a fork, and half the world is going one way and the other half is going another way.
Makes you question, do you really trust what governments are telling you?
No.
Do they really have your best interest in mind?
No. Yes and no.
True.
There's things that they keep from us that we really don't want to know. We like to think we do, but let's be honest, we probably don't really want to know.
I'll go off on the tangent here. Aliens. Aliens. You show the world these things actually exist, public freak out. Mass hysteria, panic. Well, it won't be that intense because we have
we're
movies.
All expecting it now.
Well, yeah, we have movies. We show you the
it.
images and everything. So when it does happen, you're not totally surprised. You're already primed for it.
Yeah.
Best place to hide something is right underneath someone's nose.
But yeah, also I want to highlight another NFT project. I told myself I wouldn't do this, but the Mechaverse.
I'm all about that. I'm down. You know me. I am all about that mecha life. I'm with it.
I don't want to go in too much because I want you guys to go look it up, Google it, go on Twitter, join the Mechaverse. If you can join the Discord, go join the Discord. Essentially what it is this is a PFP avatar NFT project where they're essentially making Gundams and Code Geass styled like mechs. And those are going to be the profile picture avatars for the metaverse.
I'm with it. I'll be personally using something from Big O just because.
There you go. If they make it, that'd be cool if they do. do.
Why
You know what
wouldn't
I'm
they?
gonna do is after this show, I'm gonna go and be like, you should do some Big O mechs.
I mean, it's kind of off on the tangent of mechs, but there's some really solid mechs. Like Gundam, tried and true, don't get me wrong, but some of them are a little too overused, looking at you, Burning Fist. But, you could throw some Big O in there. You got some class. You got some culture.
Okay. Yeah, no, I see it. But again, thank you for coming out.
As always, thank you for having me. I always learn so much when I'm on your show.
Yep. So again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, ping the bell, and also remember the metaverse is purple.
Have a good one, guys.
Deuces.